going to score 20. He's going to get you 7, 8 assists. Lob and hammered down by Trayce Jackson-Davis.
They're clearing out that weak sides. Kind of caught him off guard. They had to switch, but they switched late.
Kuminga with that corner three. Melton.
The Golden State Warriors are in the spotlight once again, but this time it's not just because of their incredible 4-0 streak in the preseason. It's because rumors are swirling and they're about to blow up the NBA. The loss of Klay Thompson, a decade-long partner of Steph Curry, has left a gaping hole in their lineup. But what if I told you they could fill that hole with none other than Jimmy Butler? That's right. The Miami Heat's playoff beast, the man who carried his team to the NBA Finals twice, could be the Warriors' secret weapon to dominate the league again. With Steph Curry still playing at an MVP level at 36, this might be their last shot at another ring. Could a blockbuster trade bring Butler to the Bay and rewrite Golden State's fate after the heartbreak of losing Klay? Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into the possibility of Jimmy Butler donning the Warriors jersey, and trust me, this move could change everything. But first, let's take a closer look at the Warriors' flawless preseason run and what lies beneath the surface. A 4-0 preseason record is no small feat, especially in the ultra-competitive NBA. The Warriors have showcased their depth and resilience, even without their key stars playing every game. Steph Curry took some nights off, and yet the team didn't miss a beat. Players like Jonathan Kuminga, Trayce Jackson-Davis, and Moses Moody stepped up in huge ways, showing why Golden State might have the deepest roster they've ever had. 6 players finished in double digits during their win over the Pistons, with Kuminga drilling 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, something we've never consistently seen from him before. But let's not kid ourselves, preseason is just that, preseason. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, but everyone knows the regular season is where the real grind begins, and that's where the loss of Klay Thompson looms large. No matter how well they performed in these 4 games, the Warriors know they need more firepower if they want to be serious title contenders. Despite their undefeated run, you can sense the urgency within the organization. They've signed solid role players like DeAnthony Melton and Buddy Hield, but will these pieces be enough to make up for Klay's absence? Doubtful. Golden State needs a big move to get back into championship form, and that's where Jimmy Butler comes in. But before we get to Butler, we have to understand how losing Klay changes the Warriors' entire game plan. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Klay Thompson trade. After 11 incredible seasons, Klay, the heart and soul of Golden State's championship runs, is no longer a Warrior. In an unprecedented 6-team trade, Klay Thompson ended up with the Dallas Mavericks. That's right, the guy who helped Steph Curry redefine how the NBA plays the game is now playing for another team. And that stings. It's not just about losing one of the best shooters in NBA history. It's about losing someone who has been there through thick and thin, someone who understands the Warriors system like the back of his hand. For the first time in over a decade, Golden State will take the court without Klay Thompson in their lineup. It's a shocking reality, and no one knows how the team will recover from this loss. Klay wasn't just a great shooter, he was the Warriors' defensive anchor, the guy who could lock down the opponent's best player while draining threes on the other end. So how do you replace a player like that? Buddy Hield was brought in, and yes, he's one of the best three-point shooters in the league today, even more so than Steph Curry over the last 5 years. But here's the thing, Buddy Hield is not Klay Thompson. The chemistry between Klay and Steph was built over years of playing together, winning championships, and making clutch plays. That's not something you can replace with a trade or a signing. But what if there's another way? Now let's shift our focus to the biggest rumor swirling around the NBA right now, a potential trade that could bring Jimmy Butler to Golden State. So here we are, Jimmy Butler, the Heat's undeniable leader, a man who has carried his team through thick and thin, and one of the most clutch playoff performers in recent memory. The Warriors front office knows this is the kind of player they need to fill the void left by Klay. Butler isn't just a scorer, he's a leader, a relentless competitor, and a defensive juggernaut. And guess what? Rumor has it, Golden State is eyeing him for a potential blockbuster trade. Now let's talk specifics. Butler's 35, and he's not getting any younger. He's had some injuries, sure. But when it matters most, when the playoffs roll around, Butler shows up. Remember when he dropped 56 points on the Bucks in the 2023 playoffs? That's the kind of intensity Golden State needs, especially when you're going up against the stacked teams in the Western Conference. And let's be real, Butler playing alongside Steph Curry is a terrifying thought for any defense. There's one major factor that makes this deal even more attractive. Miami hasn't locked Butler down with a long-term extension. He's eligible for a 2-year, $112.9 million deal, but the Heat are hesitating. Why? Maybe they're worried about his age, maybe it's the early playoff exit last season, or maybe they're just not sure Butler can keep carrying the team on his shoulders. But one thing is clear: if Miami doesn't offer him that extension, Golden State has a chance to swoop in and make a deal. But can the Warriors make this trade work financially? And what would they have to give up? Let's dig deeper into the Steph Curry factor and how this blockbuster trade could happen. Steph Curry is still the face of the Warriors. At 36, he's coming off a heroic stint at the Paris Olympics where he dazzled the world with his skill and basketball IQ. But let's face it, time is not on his side. Steph might still be playing at an MVP level, but everyone knows his window for winning more championships is getting smaller by the day. And Steph knows it too. That's why activating this Jimmy Butler trade makes so much sense. Curry doesn't rely on raw athleticism like some of the younger stars in the league. His game is built on precision, timing, and an unparalleled understanding of how to stretch defenses. This means that even as he ages, he's still a massive threat. But no matter how good Steph is, he can't do it alone. He needs a partner in crime, someone who can take the pressure off and help him carry the load. Imagine this: Steph stretching the floor, Draymond Green controlling the defense, and Jimmy Butler bringing his playoff intensity to the table. That's a deadly combination. This isn't just about making a splash in free agency, it's about securing 1 or 2 more rings for Steph before he retires. The Warriors know they have to maximize this opportunity, and Butler could be the key to extending their championship window. But hold on, there's a catch. What would the Warriors have to give up to make this deal happen? And is it worth the risk? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the risk. Trading for Butler isn't going to be cheap. The Warriors would have to give up valuable assets, and that includes players like Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, and Gary Payton II. Kuminga in particular is a rising star, and there's been a lot of talk about whether Golden State should really trade away a 21-year-old with sky-high potential for a 35-year-old with injury concerns. But here's the flip side: Jimmy Butler is a proven winner. He's taken the Miami Heat to the NBA Finals twice and is one of the best clutch performers in the league. The Warriors are at a crossroads. Do they invest in their future and hold on to their young talent, or do they go all in on Butler to give Steph one last shot at a title? Yes, Butler has injury issues. He hasn't played more than 65 games in the last 7 seasons, and if the Warriors give him a max extension, they're committing to an aging star who may not be available when they need him the most. But if they pull the trigger on this trade, they could set themselves up for one more championship run. And let's not forget, both Miami and Golden State are facing tough decisions as the trade deadline approaches. So here we are. The clock is ticking, and the Golden State Warriors have a decision to make. Will they go all in on Jimmy Butler, taking a risk to secure another championship, or will they play it safe and focus on developing their young talent? Steph Curry's window is closing, and adding Butler could be the move that keeps Golden State in the title conversation for just a little longer. But is it worth the risk? Only time will tell. One thing's for sure: this trade could change the NBA landscape as we know it. Should the Warriors pull the trigger on Butler, or is there another path forward? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Warriors' potential blockbuster move, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Switch Culture, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates on the most analytical and entertaining NBA content out there. Thanks for watching, and until next time.